Hi, I'm Sandy Babb. Welcome to my studio. This is my last installment of the hashtag Just Junk Journal Challenge, hosted by Dear Julie here on YouTube. And this is where we're going to finish up the cover, slip in a few of the things that we made in the last video, and I'm going to call it done for now for the challenge. And when the challenge is over, I'll be coming back to work in this journal without specific parameters, and I'll periodically jump in and just do a journal with me video, and we'll do a little tutorial or something like that. So I had mentioned earlier that I wasn't sure that that blue box was going to stay in here. It didn't. I decided that I could not give up that real estate, that I knew that by the time this expanded that I was going to need all of that space. So I took the box out, and I'll show you what I've got left here, because I already showed you how I bound this, but we're just going to finish it off. I'll link the binding video in the bottom of the description. So here's where I took that off, and I've got a little gunk on here. But I did decide I'm going to go ahead and put a pocket in the back. So I have got here some of my box cardboard left of the box to make, you know, that this was made with. And I just want to, that's a little, let's see, where does that bend up at? Actually, that's about perfect if I just want to use it. If I don't want to have to cut another piece, that's just about a perfect little pocket. It really is. I had thought about, I was trying to decide if I wanted to use the blue or if I wanted to go with some of the darker green in here. And now that I'm looking at it, I kind of like the darker green. But since I know that this is about perfect, I could just trace this on the back of here, and I think that's what I'll do, get myself a little pocket. Now I'm going to stitch off camera. I'm not going to be stitching on camera today. I'm just going to go to my, I'm just going to draw this, since that's just about the size I need, and cut that out. I'm just thinking I like the darker green on the inside with this brown edging. And I am going to raise this pocket slightly, so I'm going to cut some pieces of cardboard that are just the same length as the side and the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and just cut that off because I can use these on the side. And I'll cut a little narrow strip for the bottom. I just want to raise the pocket out a little bit so it won't be flat up against the back. So I'm going to do a little strip, and I want that strip to be as long as the back or the bottom of this, somewhere in there. And I want two little strips that are the length of the sides. Just does take up a little bit of my pocket, but that's okay. I want it to stick out just a little bit. Let's see, that one is cut a little bit crooked, a little bit thick. So is that one. I can't cut. Okay, there we go. Is that the one I had for the side, bottom? Okay. I'm going to pause you for a second. I'm going to go over to my machine. I'm just going to stitch around this edge of this just to give it some decoration, and I'll be right back. Okay. I just did a simple zigzag across the top and then straight around the sides. So what I want to do is I want to glue across the bottom a piece of that cardboard. This is going to slightly lift it up, only the thickness of this cardboard, where you don't have to kind of, you know, force things in and out. It'll be a little loose. So I'm going to put a little glue there and sandwich this long piece on here. Get it even with my edges. these side pieces will be a little long and I can just nip those off. I'm going to put these pieces up the side. Okay. Do that again over here. And that way it gives me just a little bit of a lift in that pocket. Like I said, it makes it easier to get things in and out. Nip off those extra little edges. And then I'm going to wipe that glue, make sure glue's not squirting out everywhere. I'm going to glue this down on those pieces that I just glued. I'm going to put some glue down. Get that centered between my spine, and it doesn't go all the way. It's a little shorter on both sides because I want my book to be able to fold without that catching in there, so it's slightly shorter. But with it raised up a little bit like this, it gives me a little bit of extra room to, you know, when you tuck something in, it's not, you're not tearing because it's not right up against that. So I've given myself just a slight amount of room there. I'm probably not going to embellish that or anything. I'm probably just, I mean, I don't know. I might come back and do a little cluster on it or something, but for right now, no, not going to do anything else. Okay, I don't have any glue squirting out anywhere or anything. I did this wrong while ago. I was like, why won't this book close? Because my signatures go over. Okay, so what I decided to do for these edges, I guess I'll do the edges last. Let me move those out of the way. For this centerpiece, I want something that overlaps. So I took a piece of my cereal box here, okay, and I've cut it down to, I think it's about 1 inch wide. Yes, I've cut a 1-inch strip. It's longer than my box. I've got to cut it down to fit my box. But I want this 1-inch strip. I'm going to glue it with this side up because I want the brown side on the back. I don't want this this here showing. And I'm going to layer it with a slightly wider, this is probably about 1 1/8 inches. See, it's a little bit wider. I'm going to layer it with this. And then I took a piece of my calendar and went back to the, is this even 1 inch? Yeah, went back to the 1 inch. So I've got that little, you know, it's a kind of a sandwich layer, but it's a thick layer, okay? So I'm going to use my glue stick, and I'm going to glue that piece of paper down. And I'll have to cut all this down to fit when I get there. Okay. I'm going to sew this so I'm not too worried about it being, you know, just extra, extra perfect. I'm going to tear it on this end. Get my, where's my ruler? Ah, right there in front of me. I'm going to go where the end of this is and tear that paper so it doesn't have a straight edge like that. Now I'm going to go and see how long it needs to be for my book exactly. Let me look in the camera so I can see that top. I'm going to say to about right there. And again, I'm just going to take my ruler and tear that. And I'm tearing the cardboard with this one. I just want to tear that off and have sort of a rough tear. This one is cut, but it's fine. Do I want the leafy part? The butterfly part? I think if I cut any of it off, I'm going to cut it on that end because I don't particularly like that side. I think I'll cut it here and put it on there. And then, well, you know, I probably could just do it like that and cut it off there. And I'm going to glue this down the center just to get enough to just to hold it on. You know, I'm wanting to hold it, you know, just hold it on there. And now I'm going to take this to my machine and I'm going to stitch around it, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have zigzag stitched all the way around there, so this looks good on the front and the back. I'm going to take a little bit of my ink and hit the edges of that brown paper. Give it a little, just a little kiss of ink on the front and the back. This back side, I'm actually going to take my stamp that I've been using throughout this whole thing. Grab a piece of paper. And I'm going to stamp this back because a portion of this will show. Some of it won't, but some of it will. And I just want to have a stamp on it if it does. So, I'm going to, what am I doing? I'm trying to ink the stamp and I'll do what I've been doing and kind of cross stamp it here and there so it gets a little bit of character. Okay, there we go. Good enough. This is going to be my centerpiece on here. Like this. It's going to be glued only on one side. I just want this to cover. It's not very pretty, and I didn't have any trim or any, you know, it's not perfect where it meets, and so when it's closed, I would like for this to be a little nicer. You know, let's see, how far over do I want that? I want it this way, and I don't want it to go over my lady there. So I'm going to try to make myself a couple little tick marks that maybe are very, very light to line that up on. So I know where most of my glue does not go past those little tick marks. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'll use some of the score tape on this so I don't have to deal with wet glue. I think that'd probably be the best. I'm going to get it right inside there where I've got my little tick marks from top to bottom. And I'll put this piece of tape on and then come back and add a smaller piece beside it. Or I'll double this so that I'm getting both pieces stuck. I think I'll do that. Just go back and double this size. Getting it right there in that spot where I don't get it past that. But I think that's going to be my best bet. Let's do the score. Okay, now if I can line that back up on my little tick marks, which is right there at the edge of my glue, or it's not glue, it's tape. Okay. And see, this is just hanging over a little bit, but it's enough when the book is closed that I have a pretty picture over here, and I have that middle is not showing. That was kind of my intention with it. It's a little wobbly, but hey, you know, it is what it is. We made these out of junk. They're not going to be perfect. Now, let's do the corners. Now, what I did on the corners, I took some of that brown paper, some more of this brown paper that I had, and I ripped it down into 1/2-inch strips. And then I took the zigzag and I went straight down the middle. Okay, I'm going to ink the edges of this. I think I'll probably have to ink, let's see, if I can ink it now, I'd rather ink it now than when it's on the book, if I can get it to pick up the ink. This paper is so thin. Actually, I'm getting it to pick up a little bit. Okay, it just may take a second to ink this. I'll do one and then I'll pause and do the rest because I don't want you to sit and wait on me. I don't think that's going to ink well like that. Let me see my piece of paper. Let's go back and let's see how we can do this. We may have to just do it this way. I may have to ink this way. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm not going to get the edges very well if I do it any other way. So I'm just going to use my cosmetic sponge and ink down both sides. I am going to have to cut this off, and it is too long because I just tore strips and sewed it because I wasn't, you know, I was trying to practice what I was going to do to this thing. Okay, so that'll ink that, and I'm not going to ink the rest of those on camera. I'll do that off camera, but I want to show you how I'm going to attach those onto the corners. I want to cover where each of these meet so you're not seeing raw cardboard. So I want to cover that also. And for that, I'm also going to use the score tape. I think I'll cut these to fit first, and then I'll add some glue where the stitching, where I have to cut the stitching, because I am going to have to cut the stitching. Okay, to about right there. And I'll add some, I'm going to turn that over and add the score tape down the middle of my thing. And peel that off, and this is 1/2 inch tape. Then I'm going to try to gently place the stitching right on the edge here on that corner, and then fold it over. So I'm going to place my stitching. I know that's hard for y'all to see, but I can't show you and do it. It's kind of on the corner of the box, and then I'm pressing it like that where I get like this. So it finishes off the corners of the book with a little, it looks a little rustic and stitched. And then you can go over that if you feel like it's not going to stick. I am going to use a little dab of glue on the end of my stitching, just to, when I'm done, I'll put some clear glue on there to make sure that that sticks. So hang on just a minute. I'm going to repeat this on the other 3 corners. Then we'll come back and do the closure. Okay, got that on all 4 sides. Now I'll come back and apply with a smaller brush matte medium to just the paper. The box is pretty well protected, but just this brown paper, because it's not protected, it's just, since it's raw paper, I will go back and do that. I'm not going to add anything here right now. I have a couple of charms and stuff from my kit. I guess I could add something. I'll see what I've got. But I want to do the closure. And for the closure, I'm going to use 2 brads. Let's see, I've got 2 brads there. Some of my hemp cord to tie it. And now I've just got to figure out what I'm going to, I guess I'll just cut circles. I was trying to decide, because I did have a punch that I could use, and I thought, should I do like a half of the punch, or like if this punch went like this, like I'm trying to fold it. This is a heavy piece of cardboard that this is on. If this punch was like this, I could do it here and here, but I'm thinking maybe just the circles would look good. I don't know. Let's try a circle and see what we think. How big of a circle do I want? What if I got this circly here? Those are all, that's too little, that's too big. That one might be just right. Let me see. That's about the right size circle. Yeah. So I was kind of thinking maybe just do a circle on each side and do the wrap binding. So let's try that. And I could use some of the colored cardboard And I thought about switching them, like put a light one over here and a dark one over here. I'm just going to try it. If I hate it, I don't have to do that, you know. Kind of get myself a circle drawn there. And is that wide enough for one? Yeah. I think so. There we go. So I was thinking just do the circles. I had a poem here too I wanted to use, and I couldn't figure out how to use it. I was going to lay it down the middle of this, but then I thought, well, it's sideways. I don't know. You know how you have to make all these decisions on the... It's hard using just junk to do this, and ooh, that is not a good circle right there. Well, it's going to have to be what it's going to be. It's not too bad. See, I thought about doing opposite circles. Opposite colors. But now that I'm looking at that, I may just want brown circles. I may just want brown. The cardboard. Let me see. I may just want, yeah, I may just want cardboard. So I could cover these in the brown paper. I had thought about maybe, that is too much color. It's too much. I mean, you know, some people can't get too much color, but to me that's very jarring. So what I'll do is take these circles and take a scrap of my brown paper, and I'll just glue them to that. No problem at all. Get rid of that. I don't think I want them stamped, or do I? We should decide that first, shouldn't we? See, this is where all the... It gets all fiddly because you don't know exactly what you want. That should have enough stamping on there. Of some sort. I'm going to try it with stamping. Glue and glue that second one down. I don't know if I need to do any stitching on these because it's an awful lot of stitching. You know, that is an awful lot of stitching. So I'm like, do I need to stitch or just ink these? Maybe. Since they've got stamping. I did so much stitching in this book, which is just really crazy for me to do in a... I don't normally do this much stitching. I just was trying to get some more texture or whatever, because this challenge was really hard for me because I didn't have a lot of what is traditional junk. Now this is a junk journal in the sense that this journal is made from cast off junk. This is not like a kit that you went and buy the kit, and you know, I don't even know why some of the beautiful handmade journals are called junk journals. I really don't. I just think that was a term that stuck, you know, and then people started doing digital kits and all this other stuff, and I don't consider those to be junk journals because they're not junky to me. To me, those are not junky. Okay, I kind of like I think I'm going to like just the stamped, more like a little button thing there. Let's ink the edges of those a little bit to get a little, just a little dark around that outside edge. I don't want to ink the whole thing. I just want to really get those edges so they kind of show up a little bit. And then I'm going to cut 2 more little circles. Where's the lid? I need to cut 2 more little circles. Ew, I wonder if I could do them around this hole, because the hole's already in there to save me punching. I think so. Okay. You're going to cut 2 smaller circles. Since these already have holes, I'm going to use these. Make my life easier, which usually I don't. I usually make everything harder for myself. Of course, these actually, I don't know if that's going to work, because these are kind of hard to cut. This I'm just using as a lift. I don't want it near as big as my circle. You just want a small circle. You see how small that one is in the middle of there? Yours doesn't have to have a hole in it. You can poke the hole in it. But I'm like, this already has a hole in it. Why don't I use that to my advantage? I don't have to punch through as much. And really, like I said, all this one's for is to elevate the back of it. So you want to find the back of your circle, the center back of your circle. I'm going to put some glue around this little weird circle and glue it in the middle. Like this. This is just going to, all that's going to do is give me a little lift so that my string goes under it good. Okay, that's all that's going to do. Oh, almost put it on the front. Goes on the back, right in the middle. There we go. I'm going to figure out where I want these on my book. My book is shut. It should be about like that. And I'm going to put these, I want it to be above where she is. I like the writing on that side and the kind of little florally one on that side. Do I put it, I don't know. I think I'm going to spread them apart a little bit. I'm trying to let that touch so I know where it's at. I'm trying to let that touch. My book touch in the middle. Okay. Get it even. Make sure it's touching right where I want it. Get a marking pen. I'm guesstimating about there, and I'm going to guesstimate about there. But those are where I'm going to poke my holes. Okay, now I'm going to take my awl and I'm going to poke a hole right there where I put that. I'm going to push my awl all the way in. This is a tiny one so that my brads will go in. Okay. Then I'm going to figure out the middle of this. I'm going to kind of eyeball it. It may not be perfect. But see, this is what I meant by just punching one hole. I can just do one hole. Kind of like I said, eyeballing it. This is so small, you can get it pretty close on this. With it. And it'll be okay. Okay? Punch my holes in there, punch my holes in here. Gonna put my brad through and put my brad through here, and then come in and flatten it. And I will end up doing something decorative over this, probably. And so now I have my little piece there. I'm going to do the same thing. Put the brad in. Put it through here. And then spread it out on the inside and push it down. Kind of squeeze it. So there I have my little closure on here. I'm going to take some of my hemp cording. I don't know how much I'm going to take. I'm going to take that much. Okay. I'm going to put it under. Let's see, how am I want to wrap this? Yeah, I'm gonna start on the left. I'm gonna put it under here. Okay. And I'm going to tie a knot so that it ties down underneath up against that centerpiece like that. Okay. I don't know if you can even see me, but I think you understand what I'm saying, tying a knot down in there. And come on, got it stuck. Got that in there like that. Okay. I'm going to cut off that tip end right there. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I don't want it there, so I don't want an end. So then all I do is I shut my book, pull this over, and until you do this a time or two, it's kind of fudgy, fiddly until it gets used to the string going under. You may have to lift it a little. Oh, it's getting caught in the, oh, okay, there. I see. And I'm just going to close it like this. Do a little wrap. And there, my book is closed. Okay. And I will tie a knot, or I can just leave this one hanging down. I'm going to tie a knot in the end of here. I may come back and put a bead or something on there, I don't know. So far, I'm not. I always never know what to do with the end of this. It always looks so weird to be just hanging there to me, but, you know, I never quite know what to do with it. But that's how I'm going to close my journal. So, I did want to mention that on this, because I did this as a gatefold, one of my signatures, the strings you can tell are at the back. The other side, they're at the front. And that is so that when my book closes, one signature folds all the way over the other one. See, this side folds all the way over. And then I can get in here and do whatever I need to do with my book. So I'm going to place some things in here. We made, just made some things, the belly bands and tags and things, and I'm not going to show you that right now because I'm going to do a final flip through. But that is basically my journal made from junk. I hope you've enjoyed this series, and I will come back from time to time and do a continuation of it. And I hope you'll try this. So thanks for joining me.